Hey, hello and welcome. In this video today, we're going to talk about a question that gets asked a lot, and that is, why is it that we can sometimes find ourselves thinking about the very things that we do not want to think about? It could be that we're not good enough, or that we're going to get rejected, we're going to lose our job, and these thoughts can happen at any time of the day. It could be that you wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat, terrified that your partner is going to leave you, and you do everything to try to put these thoughts out of your mind, and they keep coming back. So first and foremost, we're going to use a phrase to guide you through the rest of this video, and that phrase is called cognitive bias. Now, if you've not heard of that phrase before, it sounds a little bit confusing, maybe a bit even academic. Cognitive bias is, if we break the phrase down, cognitive is the way we think. It's our thought process. It's our cognition. Cognitive is what we're thinking. And then we've got bias, meaning that we are more inclined to believe one thing over the other. So if we've got option A and option B, if we are biased towards option A, we will choose option A. If we are more biased towards option B, we will choose option B. So really, bias is what is our preferred choice. So then if we take it back to the start of what we were discussing earlier, we've got these thoughts that we do not want to think about. They come up all the time, maybe in the most inappropriate times, that we're going to lose our job, our partner doesn't want to be around us anyway, our parents might be frustrated, whatever it could be, the list goes on. So then if we merge these two things together, so we've got cognitive bias and our preferred thoughts. That would then lead to the question of, well, hang on, I don't want to think about these thoughts. I don't want to think about the fact that I don't believe I'm good enough, because I know I am good enough. So why do I keep thinking about them? Well, to understand this process, what we need to do is understand the different parts of the mind. So this is using what I call as the yellow, blue and green analogy. So inside our mind, we've got three parts. We've got our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our Pandora's box mind. And the Pandora's box stores all of the unresolved traumas or overwhelming feelings that we have that we cannot regulate in our life right now. So it could be anything from the past where we were bullied, we were pushed around, we were ignored, or whatever it may be, and we've not come to terms with that trauma. You don't have to experience immense abuse to have trauma. Anything that you could not cope with in that moment in time, irrespective of comparison, means it could be a trauma for you. So you've got this Pandora's box mind, and it's got unresolved traumas about you. Now, those unresolved traumas could be the fact that you believed in those moments in time that you were not good enough, that you were lazy, that people don't want to know you, that people laugh at you, people don't laugh at your jokes, or whatever it could be. And those are the experiences that you've had in the past. So you've imagined they're sat there in Pandora's box, unresolved. But even though they're unresolved, your past self could still believe that they are a reality. So that's yellow. Then you've got the blue reality today. So you could be living your life today, and you could be living a successful life. You could be happy, and you could be in a wealth of abundance, and it confuses you why these other thoughts keep coming in. So in a summary of that, we've got the yellow that projects onto the blue today, causing a confusion, and then we get green, which is why we might be thinking, well, I've got a good life today, or things are working out really well, or I know I'm not that past person, but we still keep getting hijacked, believing that we are that past person. Again, causing confusion. Why do those yellow thoughts keep showing up? Well, if we then take it to this phrase, cognitive bias, what cognitive bias means underneath is that we will focus on the very thing that is our most strongly held belief, or a belief which has the most potency. So if you take it back to when you were a child and you were insulted, or you were put down, or you degraded, and you found that you created a belief about yourself because of the very challenging environment that you might have found yourself in, that you started to believe that you're not good enough, or that people will laugh at you, or whatever it may be, that then becomes a very strongly held belief. Why? Because your mind can then see that as a trauma. And when a belief is a trauma, it becomes a potential threat to your life. So for example, if you formed a belief that you're not good enough in some way, then your protector self will start to ruminate on that again and again and again, because it's thinking, well, if you're not good enough, you have to think about everything that you think, say, and do to make sure that you don't keep making all these mistakes, and therefore people won't reject you. Now, the challenge comes, though, is that past belief about yourself that you may have in Pandora's box may not be real today. But the unfortunate thing is, if you've got an unresolved trauma in your Pandora's box mind, your protector self may still think that past trauma projection is still real today. Now, to give you a quick idea of this, my dad and I had a very fractured relationship. I'm very fine with it now because I've worked through my trauma around this, but my dad used to have a phrase that he always used to say to me on repeat: "You are useless." And he must have said that to me thousands of times. You're useless. You make mistakes. And many a time he would look at me with kind of contempt or disgust in the fact that I was his son. Almost an embarrassment. It's like, you're useless. So I formed a belief about myself and held that in Pandora's box, that I'm useless. So if I was in my life when I was, say, as a personal trainer in the gym, and I was very successful in that, through the day, I could make 9 correct decisions, but I would make one decision wrong, and then all I would focus on is that one decision that I made wrong. And it would frustrate me because I've done 9 amazing things here, and I've only done one, and that's all I'm thinking about. But then that takes it back to your protector self, looking at the unresolved trauma. So at that time, I hadn't worked through my trauma. So my trauma belief about myself was, you're useless, which is what my dad taught me. So then if I made one singular mistake, it would cause a feedback loop of causing me to focus on, well, when you made mistakes, your dad came down on you like a ton of bricks. And it was painful and it was overwhelming. So focus on that to make sure it never happens again. But even though that past self had been gone for many years, and I was a personal trainer and I was living a successful life, I hadn't overcome that trauma. So it was still projecting on to life today. So then if we take it back to that phrase again, cognitive bias, what it's going to mean is that we think about our most strongly held belief and disregard anything that disagrees with it. So if we've got an unresolved trauma, especially about ourselves or about our lives in some way, and it's still being projected onto our life today, even though we might not recognize it because we might not be addressing our trauma, it can project onto our life today, and we can believe that, meaning that we are more biased towards thinking about the unresolved trauma rather than our lives today. And this explains why we can be living maybe a successful life today. We've got a lot of validation saying that we're a good person. People want to know us. We can move forward to the things that we want to do. We have options. But it could be that we keep getting those thoughts replaying over and over and over that we're going to get rejected. Everything's going to go wrong. No one really wants to know. And then we get all of this validation today of things that are going right. And we say, well, it's going all right for now, but it's going to go wrong soon enough. Or I'm anxious that it's going to go wrong soon enough. But just because you try to disregard something does not mean it's going to go away. Now, I've made a lot of other videos on this channel about how to understand that part of our mind, so feel free to have a browse around the rest of the videos to gain a broader perspective. Okay, so I hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about your mind and why it may seem to do the things that you don't want it to do. So again, if you've got a comment and you want to put it down, feel free, because you never know, your comment might change somebody else's life for the better forever.